Shereé, and in today's episode of Elevate with Ankara, episode number 16, I will be revealing to you the next garment in the series. But first, if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returning person, thank you so much for your continued support. All right, let's get into it. I'm so excited to share with you the next garment in our series. If you are not familiar with the Elevate with Ankara sewing series, let me give you a little background information. Elevate with Ankara is a sewing series put together by myself and Talisha of Creativity by T here on YouTube and on Instagram. And in this series, we are showing you how you can take basic sewing patterns and elevate them by using standout Ankara fabric. Ankara fabric is also called African wax print fabric, and it is very colorful and has some very unique, gorgeous prints on it, and can definitely take a basic pattern and totally transform it, which is why we are calling this Elevate with Ankara. All right, so the patterns that I selected, I have put in order from easy all the way to level 2 or average. Let's start with the easiest pattern of the bunch, and that is Simplicity 4552. It is this skirt here. It is a very basic two-piece skirt, so it's a front and a back with an elasticated waist. You can't get easier than that, friends. And I know you must be thinking, that looks very boring, but I made this out of a really loudly colored, beautiful brushed cotton fabric that is plaid, and I get so many compliments on that skirt because of my fabric choice. So you can take a basic pattern like this one and pick the most beautiful standout Ankara fabric and totally elevate this pattern, and it could be a showstopper in your closet. I like that it's just 2 large pattern pieces because you can keep a solid print of your Ankara. You don't have to worry about splitting up a flower with a seam or anything like that. It would definitely keep your prints intact by using 2 large pattern pieces, and this pattern is incredibly easy for my beginner sewers. Now, while I'm not a beginner sewer, I still love making this, and I plan to make more, especially now that we're moving into slightly warmer weather. And so I definitely recommend this pattern. Also, it comes with pants, a dress, a tank, and a little over jacket. It's very cute and definitely a great value. The next pattern that I actually have an indie alternative to this as well. This is McCall M8066, and this is a skirt pattern that comes with 4 different length options. Only 3 are shown on the cover. You have a 3-tiered skirt, which would be wonderful for color blocking. You could do 3 totally different Ankara prints with different colors, completely different colors, and that would be so cute. Also, when you buy Ankara fabric, sometimes you will find that they will have the same print of fabric in different colors. And if you could imagine that, you could have the same print on each tier, but the background color of each tier would be different. That would be so cool. Also, here you have the option to do a mini skirt with a ruffle on the bottom, or you can do this long version, which I really love, that has 2 large pieces. So again, you wouldn't break up a gorgeous Ankara print fabric. Now the option that's not shown on here is actually a more like a knee length version that has a similar look to this one. It just has a longer bottom tier ruffle. So really great pattern. I actually sewed this up in a gingham fabric and I love it. I'm particularly drawn to view D. Now when I made it, I didn't have enough fabric to make it this full length, so I had to chop some of the length off of it. But I think this would be a really great option for Ankara fabric, and this is a Learn to Sew level 1 pattern. The indie pattern that I have to go along with that pattern, if you do not sew big 5 patterns, is Made by Ray Cleo, and that skirt I've made several times. I love it. It has a very similar look to View D, only it's not as long as View D. It stops, I would say, about mid-calf. I'm 5'4", so that's where it stops on me. It has the flat front with the elasticated waist, just like this pattern. And I actually love indie patterns because in their patterns, they hold your hand a little bit more with the description of each of the steps in the pattern. So I definitely recommend that one. It has been made. Both of these I've made, and they're both really fantastic. The next pattern is actually a 2-piece set, and it is Look N6722. And you have here two different versions of a crop top plus this gorgeous wrap skirt at the bottom. And this is also an easy rated pattern. And I love that it comes with the crop top because I can imagine a really great two-piece Ankara set using this. And I think a wrap skirt would be really nice to have an Ankara fabric. I haven't sewn this one up yet, but I definitely could see that this could be elevated 100% by using this pattern. The next pattern that I want to mention is McCall M8222, and this is a really great workwear type of skirt, at least in my opinion. This is definitely something that I would wear to work. And I always have wanted to make this version here, and I want to make one that looks exactly like that, but I could absolutely see this working in Ankara fabric. If you recall, when I elevated my pants, they had some wonderful pleating details just like the top of this skirt, and I love those pants, guys. The way the cotton fabric pleated so nicely and easily, and it just looks so clean. I think it will look so nice in this skirt. So I definitely recommend this one, and what's neat about this one is you can do the long version with the split in the front, which is the one that I would like, or you can do like a knee length version with no split, or a mini version. They're all very cute, and it has side pockets, which is really nice. So this is another good option that is also rated as easy, so it shouldn't be too difficult for someone to manage. It does require a 7-inch zipper as well as a 5/8 inch button at the top. But other than that, it's a pretty straightforward sew. The next pattern that I want to share with you, I also have an indie alternative. This is McCall M7981, and let me give you a close-up look. This is a wonderful pattern that has 4 different views. You can do a mini version that has a waist tie. You can do a long version, B, and you can do a about knee length version, which would be C, and then also view D is a long version. I like this pattern a lot. I like that it has large pattern pieces so you wouldn't disturb a beautiful print. I love the flowiness of it, and I love that it has side seam pockets. I don't think you could go wrong with any of the views, and they definitely could be elevated with Ankara, just like how she has elevated her version by using a plaid. You could use a really brightly colored standout design on your skirt, and because of the fullness of it, it would really just be playful in the wind, and I just think it would be a really cute skirt. Now I have an alternative indie pattern for this one, and it would be an alternative for view D. View D alternative would be the Cashmerette Holyoke skirt. Now this is a dress slash skirt pattern. I'm actually wearing a hacked version of it now. I'm wearing a Hampton slash Holyoke combination, and what's cool about this skirt is that it is high-waisted, it is flowy, it has a faux button placket down the front and a split in the front. I think that this is a really nice, flowy, comfortable dress to wear, and as a skirt, it would be really wonderful. I could see myself throwing a t-shirt for the summer or a sweater over that for the winter, so it could really transition you through the seasons. Fantastic, easy put together. Again, large panel pieces. This one has more of a princess seam vibe, so you're going to have more panels when sewing this up. However, you could still be very creative, especially if you pick a Ankara print that has smaller scaled prints on it, like flowers or just designs that are small and can be cut up. I think it's a really nice project, and I highly recommend both of these patterns. Now, the next pattern that I think is cool is Simplicity S9375, and that is this pattern here. You have several different views, and the views are all different lengths. What I like about this pattern is that there is a piece that folds over and ties at the hip, and I'm thinking this could be a really cool way to do some color blocking, in the sense that the base of the skirt could be one fabric, so let's say chambray or lightweight denim, but the pieces that flap over and tie on the front, those could be Ankara. I think that would be a really cool way to just kind of sneak some Ankara into your skirt. It would be a standout piece in your wardrobe, and obviously you could make any of these versions in a solid Ankara fabric, but I think color blocking would be really neat for this guy. I think you could really elevate this pattern by using some Ankara fabric, whether you decide to do all in one print or you decide to do my suggestion, which would be to take a different type of fabric and have that as the base and have the pieces that tie over be Ankara. Either way, it could showcase some Ankara fabric really nicely. There's some options here that are the twist front, and then it looks like there's an option to have a tie or a button. So really cute. I think this could be elevated with Ankara, and I haven't tried this one yet. If you have, do let me know in the comment section below. The next pattern is, I'm going to say, because I couldn't find it on the package itself, that it is going to be an easy to average sewing pattern. And this is Simplicity S8885. And this is a really great value pattern. It has 2 different lengths of skirt and it has 2 different lengths of pants. Pretty straightforward. It looks as though there are 4 pattern pieces for this skirt. So again, they're wide pieces where you could, you know, have a really large scale print and not have to break it up too much. It has a high waist on it, which I think is really flattering. It has a side zip, and I think it would be pretty straightforward to put together. Because it's so long and straight, I just think that it gives a little bit something different than the other flowy skirts that I've showed you. I also think that this would be a pretty simple sew to put together, even though, you know, you have to install a zipper and probably some hook closures. Yeah, 2 hook closures. I think it would be pretty straightforward and easy to put together. And you could definitely showcase some Ankara fabric on this one. The next pattern that I want to share with you is Simplicity S9552, and this is what the pattern looks like. It has this really great wrap front button down skirt with a large pocket on the front. Now, if you want to elevate it a little bit more, you can add this ruffle on the bottom here, and that definitely gives it a little step up in style. But I'm imagining making this part of the skirt out of denim and having this ruffled bottom tier out of Ankara fabric. That would be so cute. You could actually have this front pocket in the same print as the Ankara fabric that you put on the bottom, or vice versa. You could put your Ankara fabric as the skirt portion and have your ruffle in maybe a denim or a different type of cotton, or even like a linen would be cute for the ruffle and for the pocket. I just think that there's some really neat details about this. You could also find some really cool buttons to add to this pattern that would make it stand out. Another thing that I like about this is that it comes with a crop top, and the crop top comes in, wait for it, drum rolls, cup sizes. That's right, my friends. It's a pattern with cup sizes. You know how much I love this because it's made for all of us, not just one of us, okay? So really neat pattern, and it's rated as average, and the fabric recommendations are chambray, cotton, ginghams, lightweight denims, and linens. So pretty much everything I just mentioned. I think that this would be something that could be really stand out in Ankara fabric, and if you're brave enough, you could add the little crop top as well, and you would stand out and be gorgeous and fabulous all summer long. The last pattern is one that I actually purchased last night during the Joann $1.99 McCall sale, and this is McCall 8205. It is one that I decided to add at the last minute. I mentioned this to Talisha when we were coming up with some ideas, but then I put it out of my mind until I saw it last night at the sale, and revisiting it has got me excited all over again. This would be a really fantastic way to combine 2 different African wax print fabrics or Ankara fabrics. Again, like the other one I mentioned, you can get 2 of the same print but with different colored backgrounds and do one side in each color, and that would be so very cool. This skirt comes in 3 different length options, so if you don't want the super long skirt, which I love, you could go with a below the knee or at the knee version, and it's just a really neat option. So you do learn to stitch on a curved hem and also sew a bias seam. So some really great learning instructions in this pattern. This is a level learn to 2 sew. So definitely going to be a little bit more hand-holdy than some of the other patterns that I mentioned. Really great option. I definitely could see this elevated in Ankara. If you wanted, absolutely, you could use all the same print, but I just think this would be fantastic. Well, those are all my pattern selections from my stash that I wanted to share with you on ways that you can elevate them on Ankara. After you watch this video, make sure you head over to Talisha's channel and check out the patterns that she selected on her channel. Be sure to return to both of our channels in a couple of weeks where we will be revealing to you the patterns that we selected in our finished garments, as well as a full pattern review for the patterns we select. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. I hope you have a fantastic day and a wonderful week. Talk to you soon. Bye.